Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, February 19th, 2021 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I remember to breathe in divine love. And today, so we are establishing ourselves in Pisces energy, working with the flow, surrendering to the universe. And today, speaking of all these squares that we've been working with, we have a square between Venus and Mars. Now, the way this can work is very interesting. There's multiple ways that this energy can show up. So, I want to start by saying that this energy is at 22 degrees. So 22 degrees is a master degree, which means it's definitely a lesson in the self. Master lessons are less about what's happening outside of us and more about what's happening inside of us. And so while Venus and Mars can herald masculine, feminine, and relationship stuff, it really is working on the relationship between your own personal yin and yang energies. And as always, I remind you, the yin energy is here to lead the way by connecting in, by being connected to the divine, to intuition, tuning into that message or those messages, and then the Mars energy or the yang energy taking that action. But when there's a square, there is resistance. And so whether the resistance is within ourselves, whether the resistance is I don't want to listen to my intuition, or the resistance is the sneeze that is rising in me right now and making talking very hard. Sorry. It's like one of those stuck sneezes that it's moving in very slowly. So if I suddenly sneeze, I'm sorry. Resistance to listening to the yin, resistance to taking that action that aligns with that intuition. We may feel that come up within us. We may, I'm kind of feeling some things around that Mars Taurus energy, like maybe have some resistance around like the higher Venus and Aquarius, like the higher ideals, and not really feeling completely worthy, like that yang energy. Yang energy requires presence. We may resist that presence. Like yin is like, I'll be here in the clouds. So there's so many ways this can show up inside ourselves. This can also even happen with like our mental energies, our thinking, which the mental energies are definitely going to be spiky today. So we'll dig into that in a minute. It can be between like your neural synapses, the left side of your brain, the right side of your brain, not being able to find its balance with this square. It can be relationships. It can be romantic relationships. It can be our last full day of Mercury Retrograde. Communications with the opposite sex, or even with, maybe not necessarily the opposite sex, but the opposite energy. Communications between yin and yang energies, feeling a little confused in and through this. And again, our work in this is to come back into ourselves, come back into balance within, and also realize, like, where do we have resistance in and through this. I also am getting just a little feeling that some of this resistance may be also around faulty boundaries. So keep that in mind, again, as part of your inner process and your inner balance of this yin and yang, feminine, masculine energy. So we have that. And again, that may get a little trying. Right? Moon will be moving into Gemini. So like I said, the thought process might be spiking. So we just had, we had our new moon in Aquarius and the moon moved out of Aquarius. We just had the sun move out of Aquarius. But with the moon shifting into Gemini, we may feel some of those mental spikes coming in. The moon will be shifting around 8 a.m. Pacific time. So do watch out for your thinking. And do please listen. Like, are you honoring your intuition beyond just the mental spinning? Because that feels like it's part of the energy in this Venus-Mars square that we're feeling. What do we have besides that? The sun and the moon are squaring too. Again, this is a very interesting square. So, first back to my face again. I think I would know better than to hug a cat before doing this, but I just can't help myself. Anyway, Sun and moon. So moon in Gemini, sun in Pisces. So sun in Pisces, like I mentioned yesterday, it is the final sign of the zodiac. And so it is so deeply encompassing. But Pisces definitely does maybe not but lean in the direction of intuition and esoteric knowing. Well, the moon in Gemini is highly stimulated by what's in its face right now and what it's just heard and, the latest source of information. And even Gemini can definitely be swayed by authority. And so here we have like this deeper intuition vibe, and then we have the mind in the moment, which this definitely corresponds with these Venus and Mars yin and yang vibes. So again, we have to find the balance. Yes, stay tuned. North Node is in Gemini, so we definitely want to stay tuned. What's going on? There's information for us in the moment. And yet that also doesn't replace the esoteric or spiritual or intuitive psychic guidance coming in as well. So what is that balance for you? Leaning into that. We finally have the moon connecting to Saturn. Saturn in the evening. So moon in Gemini, Saturn in Aquarius energy. How does this manifest? Let me see what degree that's at. I definitely have the conditioning card in my cards. Ooh, 7 degrees. It's at that 7 degrees. We're being encouraged into the flow and into the spiritual. And so that may be where Saturn in Aquarius is trying to influence the moon. Like, yeah, I know you're seeing this, and I know this is what you're experiencing right now, but drop in a little bit deeper. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this. Don't just take things at face value. There's a lot of deeper layers that are coming up in this, and we need to be very, very aware of that. Beyond the conditioning. Look at this card on the top, the nothingness. There are deeper layers. There are deeper things than what we're seeing. Peeling through these layers, the awareness card. So keep your awareness up. Slow down. Slow down. Again, don't just take the things at face value. Look at all these cards. All these cards are definitely saying that. So do keep that in mind. The deeper possibilities in and through this. And I would say, watch out. Watch out for pinning your wagon to an outside authority other than yourself. Don't get caught in that conditioning. You do have a direct line to spirit. Like, tune into that. That is very, very, very important. And sometimes that Gemini energy, we're just like, whoop, there I go. And meanwhile, like your yin, your intuition's like, no, stop, listen. Stop, stop, drop, and listen. All right, that is it for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and stay curious. Namaste.